Welcome back to my new series, where I show you an example of why said consoles are awesome by showing an awesome game for that system. Today we are looking at the Sega Genesis, and the game that makes it awesome is World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Unlike now, Disney back in the day was just awesome with all the great movies they were releasing. For me, Disney's best period was the 90s because not only were they releasing classic after classic like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Lion King, the Goofy movie, Pocahontas, Toy Story, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, and Mulan, they also used to actually release a lot of great games, mainly for the Sega Genesis. There are a ton of Disney games on the Genesis that I will talk about eventually, but today my focus is on a title I feel doesn't get the recognition it deserves. When you hear the words Mickey Mouse and the Sega Genesis, what game does it seem like everyone thinks of? That's right, Castle of Illusion. Now don't get me wrong, it's a good game, but of the Mickey Mouse Genesis games that I have played, it's my least favorite. World of Illusion being my second, and my favorite being Mickey Mania. While all three are great games, this one has two noticeable features that the other two don't have. Donald Duck as a playable character, and two-player mode. Seriously, as a kid back in the day, having this game be playable with a friend was just awesome. Not just that, but from the main Disney trio, Donald Duck was always my favorite, so being able to play as him is a welcomed addition. My brothers used to rent this game from Blockbuster back in the day, and my sister Ashley and I used to play it all the time. Even though I was usually first player, I always picked Donald. How could I not? I just love Donald Duck. Now, unlike Mickey Mania, World of Illusion is part of Sega's Illusion series of Mickey Mouse games. This one being the third in the series. World of Illusion was developed by Sega AM7 and published by Sega themselves. It was released on the Genesis in North America on December 17, 1992. You know, come to think of that, that's my wife's birthday. She would have been 4 years old when this game released. You know, it's amazing how time flies by. In World of Illusion, Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck are magicians. The intro shows both of them getting ready for a big show when all of a sudden Donald falls back and accidentally pulls back the curtain and revealing a fucking scary ass magic box. As a kid, this box and music used to creep me out. Seriously. Hey, you know, I was a kid. What can I say? Even today, it still kind of gives me an uneasy feeling. But anyways, Donald jumps into the box and disappears, and Mickey goes in after him. Then an evil character tells them that they are great magicians in their world, but they will have to improve their skills to survive his world and defeat him. If they do all that, he will show them how to escape. Not much on story, but it's more than enough to get you interested and ready to go and kick some ass. Oh, and if you couldn't tell, the evil character is Pete, as usual. Like any other game at the time, World of Illusion is a side-scroller. You play as either Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck in their own campaigns. Yes, technically there are multiple campaigns. Mickey and Donald's campaigns slightly differ in a bit, and it's also a bit different when playing two players. When playing two-player mode, there are new sections and new enemies that you never see in the single-player campaigns. So basically 3 campaigns. Back then, that's a lot of bang for your buck. Talk about awesome value. This is because in some of the levels, there are areas that are a tight fit, and since Mickey is a mouse, he can just squeeze on through. But Donald, being a duck with a huge ass, can't. So he has to take a different route that eventually takes him to other levels. But when playing 2 players, they can stand on each other's shoulders and use ropes to help each other climb up to other sections that they couldn't get to without. And remember those tight-fitting gaps I mentioned? In 2-player mode, Mickey can pull Donald through those gaps. So again, making each playthrough a bit different, with all 3 campaigns having their own unique levels. I love the detail put into this game. The slight differences in the campaigns are more than enough reason for me to play over and over again. The one thing that does suck though, in 2-player mode, is that both players share the same pool of lives. So if your partner sucks, it's gonna seriously handicap you. And not to mention, it's real annoying when your partner keeps hitting you with their cape by accident. It doesn't hurt you, but it stuns you, and it can lead you to getting hit by the enemy closing in on you while you're stunned. When you walk in this game, you are quite slow, so a lot of the times you will be holding down the run button. Since it is a platformer, you have the ability to jump, but don't even try to jump on the enemies. This isn't Castle of Illusion. You will get hurt. To attack, you have to use your magical cape. On most common enemies, if your cape barely touches them, it will only stun them, so you have to make sure you are close enough when you use the cape if you actually want to kill them. No platformer would be complete without power-ups, and World of Illusion has its share. The candy pieces restore a single health point, while the cake restores all of your health points. Throughout all the levels, there are a bunch of playing cards. As a kid, I never knew what these did, but if you collect 52 of them, you get an extra life. So basically, you are playing a mini game of 52 pickup. Nice touch, Sega. You can also get an extra life by collecting the top hats that are scattered throughout the levels. The silver playing cards make you invincible for a short time, like the star in Super Mario Bros. And at last but not least, there is the fireworks, which explodes and kills everything on screen. When it comes to the boss fights, most are quite simple and shouldn't give you any problems. Unless you never played it before, then maybe they can give you some issues, but the patterns are very simple to figure out. Once a boss is defeated, you will learn a new power which allows you to play the next level, such as summoning a flying carpet or creating a bubble so you can breathe underwater. There's a lot of references influenced by other Disney films and cartoons throughout the game. Like one of the bosses is Madame Mim from Sword in the Stone. This boss kind of resembles the dragon from Pete's Dragon. Here's a goldfish which looks like the one from Pinocchio. The shark attack in the sunken ship is reminiscent of the Little Mermaid, not to mention the underwater level in general. There's the little fire creatures like in Mickey's Fire Brigade. One level takes place in a diamond mine, just like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. There's a flying carpet, just like in Aladdin. And let's not forget the creepy Mad Hatter statues and the walking playing card from Alice in Wonderland. Last but not least, look at the final boss, Pete. He looks the same in Mickey's Christmas Carol. The graphics and animation look great, and there is a good amount of varied locations in the game. There's a huge forest, an underground diamond mine, a level where you're in the sky. Mickey has a cool level where there's earthquakes and lightning strikes the ground, creating fire people. There's levels where you're under the sea and above the sea, and levels where you're riding a leaf on a river, going through caves, an underground cavern with clams, a sunken ship, a library where you are extremely small, Candyland, a pop-up book, riding a cork in space, an Alice in Wonderland level with a ballroom sub-level and a hedge maze sub-level, and some place that seems to be a magician's paradise or hell. As mentioned earlier, 2-player mode has whole new sections like mountain levels, a sugar cube-like level, and even a Christmas level. But if there's one level I hate with a passion, it's the level with these doors. It's only available in 2 players and it sucks. Why? Well, let me explain. First, if you haven't played 2 players since the 90s like me, you won't remember it. I didn't, so I forgot what I was supposed to do or even how to open the doors. We spent like 4 minutes there trying to open the doors till I gave up and looked up on YouTube, and wow, all you have to do is have both players at the same door and press up. Like, what the fuck? We were both at different doors trying to see which one opened. But then it really sucks because you have to play on specific parts of at least 5 levels, I think. And the final level, you will usually have 6 lives or less, and if you make it to the final level but you both run out of lives, guess what? You have to start over. Not from the doors, but the beginning of the Alice in Wonderland level. It completely sucks. But, you know, hey, at least you get unlimited tries. If you and your partner are good at the game, then it won't be a problem. But my wife never played this game ever, so she wasn't all that great at it. So she would die a lot, or just get hit often, which leads to frustration, especially on that level. But she's a trooper and she persevered. But I'm just saying, if your partner kinda sucks, you're going to have a much rougher time. Enemies match their levels, and most are dumb as hell. Getting past them is usually a simple task. Some may give you problems, but as long as you know their patterns, you should be fine. The designs for each level are basic, while never feeling dull. Platforming is great, but some levels can be a bitch, like Donald's River level. If you don't jump correctly, you will die a lot. I don't really care for the hedge maze in Donald's campaign either. It can get really confusing sometimes, and if you don't know where to go, this level can really drag on. Now that I think about it, I guess you can say that Donald's campaign is the harder of the 2. Mickey's campaign seems much easier by comparison. And for all you Castle of Illusion fans, you may have noticed that some of these levels are just reimagined levels from Castle of Illusion, like the one with the spiders. The library. And Candyland. But personally, I think they look better in this game. Audio was handled very well in World of Illusion as well. The audio samples of Mickey and Donald sound quite well for the time, and the music is awesome. Some tracks sound very lively and happy, while others sound spooky and menacing. but I know for sure this sound effect was reused from Castle of Illusion. When I was a kid, the last level used to give me the creeps. Not only is the music unsettling, but these enemies creep me out as well. Like, what the fuck is this? And I hated these parts where they would pop out of nowhere on both sides of you behind this curtain where you can only see their silhouettes. It used to be what my nightmares were made out of. Well, not really, but it would give me the chills regardless, and still kind of does to this day. So, taking everything into account, great art style and graphics, creative level design, interesting enemies, lots of Disney references, fun gameplay, awesome tracks, slight differences in the campaign that create replayability and multiplayer. All of this makes World of Illusion an awesome game to own and play. But if I had to fault it on anything, I must say it's way too easy. You can beat the game twice in under an hour. Well, at least I could. I could say it's short, but a lot of games back then were short, so I won't fault it for that. But on 2 players, depending on your partner, it could take at least an hour to beat. So maybe about 2.5 hours to complete all 3 campaigns. World of Illusion has so much charm and fun gameplay, it makes me wonder why I usually never see anything about it. When people bring up the Genesis, it's always about Castle of Illusion, which is a good game, but World of Illusion just makes me much happier when I play it. I personally think it's a much more fun game than Castle as well. Not to mention the graphics and animation are much better. It's safe to say since I played this when I was a kid, I have a lot of nostalgia for this title, but that doesn't change how much fun this game is. So if you're looking for a fun retro game to play, or even a game for your kids to play, you can't go wrong with World of Illusion. It's only one of the great Disney games back in the day, and is a clear example of why the Sega Genesis is awesome.